Alright guys, before we begin this special month for the Mega Mr. 46 radio with March Mayhem, where I'll be covering everything geek, cover everything of Marvel, Justice League, Snyder Cut, and of course the two behemoths of Godzilla and Kong before they square off against each other. And I just want to say that before we start this episode, I do want to make a bit of a topic to talk about. The first topic is, of course, we're getting new releases. But, however, the one that may be in jeopardy, however, is Black Widow. As we know, Black Widow will be coming in May, but unfortunately, however, that's a no-go on that one. It's a no-go on that one, but, but I'm still waiting for the update. And the second one, of course, is Spider-Man 3 of the MCU. We begin with John Watts, what the door says, and then we see Tom Holland, who plays Peter Parker or Spider-Man, coming out of the door, meeting up with girlfriend Zendaya, who of course plays MJ, and Jason Jacob or Jason Fatalo, the Hawaiian, who also played Ned, his best friend. Having a discussion, and then Tom Holland said the producer gave them the fake name, and he had no idea why they keep doing this. Well, the obvious one. He spoiled too much, Like I see, Infinity War spoiled it. Avengers Endgame spoiled the title. But the Far From Home, his punishment, spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Because like I say, the second one. The first one, you would see it, but the second one, however, that's his punishment. Spoiler warning. Like, you are not allowed to spoil the film. But you will, of course, and of course they walked to that, and of course with the name, after the fake name, the real name's been confirmed. No Way Home. Which, of course, I think this is a better title rather than Spider-Man Homecoming. Because there's because of the homecoming dance. Because of the prom, that's homecoming. It's a life at high school. And there's Far From Home, because his hometown is in New York. And of course, they got a trip to Europe. They have a trip to Europe. But No Way Home, of course, we're gonna have like a bit of a into the multiverse type of film, which will include some of the Marvel Netflix universe characters. But although they will have to be toned down to PG-13 level, no swearing, no blood. Oh, okay, little blood, but just tone it down, okay? Oh, and we're also gonna get Benedict Cumberbatch coming back as as Stephen or Doctor Strange. Alright guys, those topics are out of the way. Now, let's get back to reviewing. But this is less, but now we are out of the sitcom silliness. Now we are in a serious, dramatic moment.
Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get to this podcast off the ground, I had so many questions. How do I record an episode? Where do I find my background music? How do I get my show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places people like to listen? Where do I find the advertisers? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing and monetizing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and 100% ridiculously easy to use. So, if you want to start a podcast, go to anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast.
Hey guys, and welcome to March Mayhem, which is an event after I was originally named March Madness, but NCAA would send me a cease and desist of using that name because it's a trademark to college basketball. They're lost. So, welcome to March Mayhem. It's Marvel Tuesday, and we're going to be talking about the review of WandaVision. But this first is going to be a spoiler-free. But, however, we are, of course, things have shifted. But, with the reveal of one of the characters, and of course, and we switch off, we tuned out to the genre of sitcom, and crank it up to drama, Even though it is kind of chilly, and I'm in another studio, however. It's another studio, which is going to be up for sale. But the old studio was trashed because of busted pipes. But, however, we're going to be talking about is a lot of things. So we need some spoilers, But that's going to be in a little bit. But yes, there are connections too, connections to the MCU, and of course, there's a thing prior to WandaVision, but in between of events, and then, but yeah, there is some sitcoms watching. There's some sitcoms, so it's like with Wanda throughout her young years, and of course to her, captivity years, and then her years as an Avenger. So I gotta say, that episode got me in a racing heartbeat. In a racing heartbeat of intensity. And I'm not. Yeah, that's my thoughts on this episode. This episode got me in a racing heartbeat. Not because of not because of the women or anything like Wanda, like Elizabeth Olsen or Catherine Catherine Hayden. Don't get me wrong, natural beauty, but I'm talking about the episode itself. Got me in a racing heart, like of intensity, and I can't wait to, and I can't wait for the conclusion next week. So we can talk about the conclusion, and then we're gonna take a break from Marvel Tuesday, just a week break, because there's other things that like the Zack Snyder cut, and of course, the Falcon and Winter Soldier, about the two heroes that have to share the legacy of Steve Rogers, of his duties as Captain America by wielding his shield. Yep, by wielding his shield. So both of them will be taking a role on wielding that vibranium that Howard Stark has invented. Alright guys, that's it for the spoiler-free territory, because if you have not seen WandaVision, do so now. But if you canceled your Disney Plus subscription after what happened to Gina Carano, then hop on board. But for those who have a Disney Plus subscription and of course wants to see what happened, go watch it. You were warned. Okay, we begin the episode with, of course, the origin story of Agatha Harkness being accused of, is being placed in a trial of accusation of being a witch. And no, it's not Bewitched, the sitcom of the 60s. It's like a Salem witch trials, like the Salem witch trials. And of course, if you're found guilty of being a witch, you end up being stoned to death, or being hung in the gallows. But this witch trial is different because we have Agatha and of course the Covenant, trying to sentence her to death, but it backfired as 4 of the 5 Covenant members approve of Orbit's gone. Oh no, that's the dance. Sorry. I mean, 4 of the 5 were drained of the powers by Agatha's magic, and left them dead. The mother, the leader, tried to do the same thing, but Agatha also took that power. And yep, and all the members of the Covenant are dead. And she took the medallion from the mother. And then we get to Wanda. Looking around. Now, being confronted by Agatha just ask about the boys. But then she goes back to her childhood home. And of course we see her, their parents, sorry, her parents, and young Petro, they say Wanda. They were looking for Wanda, and of course, Agatha casted Wanda as her young self. And those are all happy times. But however, we can't say about happy times, however, because those happy times will not be, lasting forever, because there was a rebellion. But they ignored it, and we see some tapes, or DVDs of Bewitched, The Addams Family, and Malcolm in the Middle. Well, the first season of Malcolm in the Middle. And then, they were just watching because of English. Trying to learn English. Then we got the Dick Van Dyke Show. The complete set. And Wanda picked. And she chose season 2, episode 21, The Walnut. Which of course, and of course, in sitcoms, things can go wrong. As she was enjoying the episode, but unfortunately, the happy times were over because the bomb messed that up, and of course, their parents are dead, young Petro and young Wanda are scared, but Wanda realized something, that this was all a bad dream. None of it is real. Then she grabbed onto the magic, and then she was pulled up and back to Wanda again. That Agatha showed her about her times with Hydra. And she, of course, been a volunteer to, she's a volunteer with Hydra. Take a look at the Mind Stone, which is in the Tesseract. The same scepter that Loki possessed on the Avengers. And yes, and Loki will be coming in the summer. So, yeah. This is March Mayhem, everyone. But there's not going to be a commercial this time because she just stepped up and of course collapsed. Then was held captive in Avengers. However, this is taking place prior to the big credit scene with of course Thomas Kretschmann, Barrett von Strucker, and Aaron Taylor Johnson's Petro, or Quicksilver. No. You see her watching another commercials and another sitcom. Well, I forgot that sitcom. Then, and of course, we get to the same house, which is prior, of course, which is, of course, after the events of Age of Ultron, and before the events of Captain America Civil War and Avengers Infinity War, and right before she got dusted, right before she became the Thanos victim, Wanda was sitting by herself, and the Vision came through the wall, checking on Wanda and see if she's doing okay. Then, just taking a glance at the TV, and she was watching. And she was watching Malcolm in the Middle. Yeah, scene with Dewey, Eric Sullivan, and Bryan Cranston's Hal. Right before he was mostly recognized for Breaking Bad, and of course, finally got to be an on-screen actor because of those two breaks. Malcolm in the Middle and Breaking Bad. And then, of course, they were having a discussion, and then, I do admit, that was pretty funny when that balcony that Hal completed, laying on top of him, he just got hurt, didn't kill him. And then, of course, they shared a laugh, and he apologized, but Wanda, was glad that he got a reaction out of it, Did Agatha say the 3 things are dead? Compare her parents, Petro, Vision. What do they have in common? They're dead. And then they wanted him back. And of course, Agatha went in, and of course, it went into Sword headquarters to ask for Vision's body. And no, not making this up, she really wanted to go in for, Vision's body, so she rigged herself in and meet with Agent Thomas Hayward, who was a Thanos survivor, who of course was a Thanos survivor because he aged, while Monica and Wanda became Thanos victims. Became victims of Thanos. And Hayward's the Thanos survivor. And then she just take a look at the body, and then of course the agents of Sword held their weapons, and of course Hayward told his men to stand down. They go like, and then she's trying to see, Vision, who was getting dismembered, just like Data we just saw on Picard, which is a TV show. And it would have controversies, however, for being political or or something like that. But however, this reminds me much of that. However, so yep. And then of course she can't film anymore. Then walked out upset, and then goes to her car, and then goes into Westview, New Jersey. And no, this was not Westview, New Jersey, like no one could get in. Once you get in, no one can get out unless she decides to kick you out of the show. And then of course, you'll see some people, well, one that I noticed, Deborah Jo Jump, or Joe Rupp, and she reminds me of Kitty Foreman from that '70s show. Even though she was on that '70s show, which was in the '90s, however. So again, the silliness is gone. Now this is all seriousness. And of course, Wanda just got the blueprints for the house, which was going to be under destruction before Thanos. Now, because this is Avengers Endgame. And she is on the ground crying, and then let out a scream, like building a house. And turning the small town of Westview into a sitcom. And then of course it was putting this in the same timeline as the Dick Van Dyke Show. And then two share kids that have cuddled, and then back to the set, like the '70s. And then there was a lone clap from Agatha. And then we heard the boys, Billy and Tommy, crying out for their mom. Like they were crying out for their mom to help. They were like being held on a leash like dogs by Agatha. Okay, I mean, I do have a weird fetish for that like on The Simpsons. Like on the episode of The Simpsons. It's around the 2008-2009 year. The one that took place. Yes, the one that took place after the events of the Simpsons movie. But this one, no. That's just sick and inhumane what Agatha's doing. And then she told him that she used that power because she would always be the Scarlet Witch. And then, well, not much casting going on. It's just Paul Bettany, Elizabeth Olsen, Deborah Jo Rupp, and Catherine Hayne. That's a featured cast. That's the main cast of the episode. So that's it. And like I say, I hadn't seen Deborah Jo Rupp last time. I didn't notice. But this, and I can't wait to see how this ends. Wait, there's a post-credit. Sorry, there's a mid-credit scene. And then Wanda, like I just watched, like with The Mandalorian, with the Book of Boba Fett, which I'm going to be talking about, and of course, spilling the details. Since Gina Carano's been fired, which I'm going to do that in December, it's going to give you guys the details. No spoiler warning unless she gets rehired. But if she becomes president, I'm going to bring back the spoiler warning, replacing Kathleen Kennedy, however. But back to what I'm saying today. With the mid-credit scene, we see Agent Hayward finding a way to get out. And of course, we we have just the drone thing or jet that has that power to go through, and of course we see what kind of looks like Vision, but holy hell, that is a scary looking Vision. And he's blue. Dabby dee da. The blue dabby dabby dee da. Alright guys. Stick in to the next week of Marvel Tuesday for the final episode of WandaVision, because this is where we're gonna end the episode right now. Okay guys, that's gonna do about it for Marvel Tuesday. And it's gonna do about it for March Mayhem for now. But, you know, because this is going to be a lot for me to cover. No joke. Godzilla King of the Monsters, Kong Skull Island, and then Godzilla vs. Kong. And of course, the Zack Snyder cut. And Falcon and Winter Soldier, all part of March Mayhem. There's gonna be a lot of topics for me, but you know, like I say, but I can only do the ones for review. I can only do the ones do this for reviews, because topics could really hurt my brain. And I would forget, and I don't have my journal with me because I need to do some topics for see if there's any news. But yeah, but I hope y'all got the topics on Spider-Man No Way Home. You know, that's the confirmed title. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's gonna do about it for this episode of Marvel Tuesday, part of March Mayhem. And I will see you guys next time. And of course, God help us, everyone.